Namaste, welcome to the Analytica Ayurveda, and we are just here for the rule, the regulation, and we are covering the drug and cosmetic rule 1945. And again, I have to correct myself, it is drug rules 1945. And we are discussing about the rule 160, that is pertaining to the quality control and standardization of the ASU medicine, and here we are having more concern with the Ayurveda medicine. So we have discussed about the drug testing laboratory and the phenomenon and the number of the personnel required to establish a DTL and the number of machinery required and the equipments required for the chemistry section, for the pharmacognosy section, and for the Ayurveda Siddha Unani section. All these things we have covered. Now open the book. Yes, without opening the book, one cannot perceive in true spirit the rule and regulations related to the Ayurveda Siddha Unani medicines. Okay, friends. So 160C and the duration of the approval is the now. So read it. An approval granted in Form 47 or renewed in Form 49 unless sooner suspended or withdrawn shall be valid for a period of 3 years from the date on which it is granted or renewed. So it's very clear that the duration is for 3 years. Once when it is granted under the Form 47, it is for the 3 years. When it is renewed, then under the Form 49, again it is for the 3 years only. The duration is not less here. Generally renewal period is less, but here that good thing, it is laboratory friendly. I can say that both periods are for 3 years. If it is when it is granted, then it is the Form 47 for 3 years, and Form 49 it is again for 3 years. Provided that if an application for the renewal of an approval in Form 40 is made before its expiry, or if the application is made within 6 months of its expiry, after the payment of the additional inspection fee, the approval shall continue to be in force until orders to be contrary are passed on the applications, and the approval shall be deemed to have expired if the application for renewal is not made within 6 months of expiry. Let's understand it. It is very clearly it is said here, and we can perceive that for the renewal of an approval in Form 40, if when you are applying for that, it must be within 6 months of the expiry of the first granted period. And then here payment of the additional inspection fee is required, and which the fees must be that which is in the present context, it is on the charter, it is in the practice. I am not getting a fee amount here, and it seems that it has been said there very clearly that whatever in the practice, I mean by the government practice, notified by the government, not other practice. So here it is the case, you have to apply within the 6 months. Then come to the rule 160D, that is the conditions of approval. So an approval in Form 48 shall be subject to the following conditions, namely Form 48 shall be subject to the following conditions, namely, yes, these are what? Number 1, the institution granted approval under this part herein after referred to as the approved laboratory shall provide and maintain adequate staff and adequate premises and equipment as specified in Rule 160B. Natural, आपका अप्रूवल तभी तक रहेगा, तभी तक आपका laboratory organization will be treated as a drug testing laboratory, approved laboratory, till you are maintaining the minimum requirements of the personnel, that is the botanist, chemist, Ayurvedist, right? and all machinery is required, which has been notified into the Rule 160B. Now come to the second, the approval laboratory. The approved laboratories shall provide proper facilities for storage so as to preserve the properties of the sample to be tested by it. Second, it is the laboratory, the approved laboratory should always have a space where it should be a period, and it may be there a period when it will come, we will discuss it, because we are going on word by word, up to what period that storage should be stored by the approved laboratory. That must be specified here. So the approved laboratory shall provide proper facilities for storage so as to preserve the properties of the sample to be tested by it. The third is, the approved laboratory shall maintain records of test for identity, purity, quality and strength carried out on all samples of the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani drugs and the results thereof together with the protocols of test showing the readings and the calculations in such form as to be available for inspection, and such records shall be retained in the case of substances for which date of expiry is assigned for a period of 2 years from such date of expiry, and in the case of other substances for a period of 3 years. घुमा के घूम रो बट बात साफ है एक ही. एक बार इसको फिर देख लीजिए. The approved laboratory shall maintain records of the test for identity, purity, quality and strength carried out on all samples of Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani drugs and the results thereof together with the protocols of the test showing the reading and calculation in such form as to be available for inspection, and such records shall be retained in the case of substances for which date of expiry is assigned for a period of 2 years or from such date of expiry, and in case of other substances for a period of 3 years. All those samples which have been tested by the laboratory, all the tests as per the notifications and all the calculations must be available for the inspection. I mean, here Rule 1 regulations are very clearly indicating the whole protocol, the whole procedures, how it has been done. That must be calculated, that must be there on record for the inspection, and you have to keep, the laboratory must to keep it for the period of 2 years. Specifically when you are doing it and an expiry date is given, it is not meaning, it is not showing that the expiry period is of 2 years of that substance. No, any sample, the final product you are doing, and expiry period is quoted for that, indicated under the Rule 161B, then that sample record should be maintained for the period of 2 years. And if that sample is not having any expiry period, for example, any individual material not processed either of origin, then that record should be maintained there for 3 years. Okay. Now come to the fourth. The approved laboratories shall allow the inspector appointed under this act to enter with or without prior notice the premises where the testing is carried out, and to inspect the premises and the equipment used for test and the testing procedures employed. The laboratory shall allow the inspector to inspect the register and records maintained under these rules, and shall apply to such inspectors such information as they may require for the purpose of ascertaining whether the provisions of the Act and the rules made thereunder have been observed. इंस्पेक्टर राज ऐसे ही कहा जाता था. इसकी क्रेडिट जाती है माननीय स्वर्गीय प्रधानमंत्री पीवी नरसिम्हा राव जी के समय से, जब ऐसी नीतियां आई, जब भारत में इंस्पेक्टर राज खत्म होना शुरू हुआ और पूर्ण रूपेण इसको खत्म किया माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मनमोहन सिंह जी के कार्यकाल में। तो ये जितना इसको बोला जाता था रेड टैपिज्म, इंस्पेक्टर राज वो कहलाता था। कभी आप अपने घर में बड़ों से पूछिएगा कि एक इंस्पेक्टर का महत्व इसमें कितना हुआ करता था उस समय, किसी भी चीज़ की लाइसेंसिंग में या कोई भी चीज़ प्राप्त करनी होती थी। लेकिन जो ये थोड़ी सी लिबर्टी आई वो वहाँ से आई, और इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स जो मनमोहन सिंह जी ने किए और इंस्पेक्टर राज के खात्मे का, नहीं तो लाइसेंस और इंस्पेक्टर राज के नाम से लोग कांपते थे। और आजकल तो आपको फुल लिबर्टी है और वो प्रोसीजर इतने ओपन है। लेकिन यहाँ पर ये जो लैंग्वेज आई है ना, उससे मुझे याद आ गया इंस्पेक्टर राज, मतलब, और इट शुड बी इन दिस केस द इंस्पेक्टर साहब को सारी परमिशन उनको नहीं लेनी है। इंस्पेक्टर साहब जब चाहें, जहाँ चाहें, जो चाहें, जैसा चाहें, जितना चाहें, उन चीज़ों को देख सकते हैं। और ये होना भी चाहिए इस केस में कि विथ परमिशन और विदाउट परमिशन, राइट, एंड देन all the checking of the procedures in actual sense, following up the protocol in real sense, ये सारी चीज़ें उनको असाइंड हैं और वो जा कर के कभी भी किसी भी समय औचक निरीक्षण कर सकते हैं। निरीक्षक महोदय औचक निरीक्षण कर सकते हैं, सरप्राइज इंस्पेक्शन बाय द इंस्पेक्टर। लेट अस सी रूल 160C क्लॉज 5 क्या कहता है? The approved laboratory shall from time to time report to the approving authority any changes in the person in charge of the testing of Ayurveda Siddha Unani drugs or expert staff responsible for testing as the case may be, and any material alteration in the premises or changes in the equipments used for the purpose of testing which have been made since the date of last inspection made on behalf of the approving authority before the grant or renewal of the approval. Very good. Simple. In very simple words, any change on account of personnel, experts, machinery, equipment, mean between the last inspection and request for the new inspection must be informed to the approving authority. It also suggests that when it happened, then just inform. Don't wait for the next inspection. That will be more proper, more appropriate. If a person is leaving due to any reason and a laboratory is recruiting some new one, or a machinery has been changed, a new advanced model, yes, I hope a new advanced model is installed, then the laboratory has this liability to inform the approving authority. It is mandatory, not the liability, it is mandatory to report or to inform the approving authority about this. Okay, what is about the sixth? The approved laboratory shall furnish reports of the result of the test or analysis in the form 50. ये पूरे फॉर्म्स को बहुत ध्यान से चलिएगा, फॉर्म 47, फॉर्म 48, फॉर्म 49, फॉर्म 50, एवरीथिंग मस्ट बी मक्षिका स्थाने मक्षिका स्टाइल, राइट? तो सो द फाइनल रिजल्ट विल बी इन द फॉर्म 50. Next, seventh, in case any sample of Ayurveda Siddha Unani drugs is found on test to be not of the standard quality, the approved laboratory shall furnish to the approving authority and licensing authority of the state where the manufacturer and or sender of the Ayurvedic Siddha Unani drugs is located a copy of the test report on the sample with the protocol of the test applied. Yes, Rule 160C, Clause 7th is very openly speaking about this, that if anything is found not of standard quality, this is the responsibility of the manufacturer even before the this is the responsibility of the laboratory. Yes, it is the responsibility of the laboratory even before the manufacturer to inform the approving authority or the SLA, state licensing authority of the state from where that company belong, that this particular product is not of the suitable quantity, with all details of the protocols, procedures applied to the test. So it is really very fine and it's very good, genuine. It must be. So the laboratories which are certified under this category, this much of the honesty, integrity, dignity of the laboratory or the faithfulness to the consumer, not the manufacturer from whom you are charging some money for the test. No, you must be dedicated to the common man also. And if it is found anything that it is not of the quality, one has to inform, right? To whom? The SLA of the state, even before the manufacturer. Okay. Next is the 8th. The approved laboratory shall comply with the provisions of the Act and the rules met thereunder and such further requirements, if any, as may be specified in the rules met from time to time under Chapter 4A of the Act, of which is the approving authority has given the approved laboratory not less than 4 months' notice. The approved laboratory shall comply with the provisions of the Act and the rules met thereunder and such further requirements, if any, as may be specified in the rule made from time to time under Chapter 4A of the Act, which the approving authority has given the approved laboratory not less than 4 month notice. दोनों तरफ से बात साफ है. अगर इस एक्ट में कोई भी चेंज करती है सरकार चैप्टर 4A में लेबोरेटरीज के अंतर्गत, इस रूल 160 में, स्पेसिफिकली 160B में, सपोज एक क्लॉज वहाँ पर डाल दिया गया कि एक्सपर्ट जो आपका आयुर्वेद का होगा और MD आयुर्वेद रसशास्त्र या बैसिस कल्पना या द्रव्य गुण से होगा, सपोज, है ना, और या आपका जो बॉटनिस्ट और केमिस्ट है उसकी ये क्वालिफिकेशन होगी, इतना ये एक्सपीरियंस है, या आपको सोफिस्टिकेटेड इन्वेस्टिगेशंस में आपको GLC भी शामिल करनी है, लाइक वाइज दैट आपको थोड़े और सोफिस्टिकेटेड इंस्ट्रूमेंट सबके लिए कंपलसरी कर दिए जाए, तो 4 महीने की नोटिस सरकार को देनी है, कंपनी को, लेबोरेटरी को, और उस 4 महीने के अंदर लेबोरेटरी को वो कंप्लायंस करना होगा. ये रूल इतना ही कहता है. 9th बात है, द अप्रूव्ड लेबोरेटरी शैल मेंटेन एन इंस्पेक्शन बुक टू इनेबल द इंस्पेक्टर टू रिकॉर्ड द इम्प्रेशन और डिफेक्ट्स नोटिस्ड. ये बोलता है रूल 160C का 9th क्लॉज कि जो अप्रूव्ड लेबोरेटरी है ये अपना सारा का सारा रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन करेगी इंस्पेक्शन का, और अगर कहीं कोई डिफेक्ट किसी का मिलता है या इसका चाहे किसी सैंपल का, दोनों के रिकॉर्ड्स अवेलेबल रहेंगे और इस पर बातचीत जिसको भी उन्होंने दिया है, क्योंकि अगर आप किसी की भी नोटिस देते हैं, SLA को देते हैं, तो उन्हें इस पर एक्शन लेना होता है. फिर वो आपके पास आते हैं, देखते हैं, और हो सकता है कि मैन्युफैक्चरर आपके टेस्टिंग प्रोटोकॉल को ही चैलेंज कर दे, कहे कि नहीं, इस जिस प्रोटोकॉल से किया है आपने वो आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन पर नहीं लगता. आजकल इसी तरीके की मुकदमेबाजी हो जाती है, और अक्सर आयुर्वेद के मैन्युफैक्चरर्स किसी भी नोटिस पर यही मुकदमा करते हैं कि ये रूल हमारे ऊपर नहीं लगता, या ये प्रोटोकॉल हमारे ऊपर नहीं लगता, या ये नोटिफिकेशंस के पेरिफेरी में हम नहीं आते. तो वो बहुत सारे ऐसे कुशाग्र और तीव्र बुद्धि के लोग हैं जो कि नुक्ताचीनी करते रहते हैं. तो डाल तो मैं पात सरकार भी उसी हिसाब से चलती रहती है. सरकार की स्पीड थोड़ी सी धीरे रहती है, सरक के चलती है. इस पर मुझे एक बहुत अच्छा वक्तव्य याद आ जाता है कि सरकारें सरक के चलती हैं, लेकिन कोई व्यक्ति जब कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर का होता है तो बहुत तेज़ भागता है, काम करता है, कराता है. चलते हैं। तो आज के लिए इतना ही, और मुकदमेबाजी न हो इसलिए ये सारे प्रोटोकॉल्स और ये सारे प्रोसीजर्स और ये सारा चीज़ें नोटिस में लाई जाती हैं। और एक माइंडसेट बदलने की ज़रूरत है, वो भी छोटे आयुर्वेदिक मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को। बड़े वाले लोग तो तुरंत अडॉप्ट कर जाते हैं, जो 500 करोड़ से ऊपर वाले लोग हैं वो तुरंत अडॉप्ट कर लेते हैं, तुरंत उन्होंने सारी मशीनरी कर लेते हैं, और एक उनकी कैपेसिटी भी होती है कि वो थोड़ा सा बड़ा होकर के काम करते हैं। तो इन सारी चीज़ों को जब हम ये पाते हैं, ये देखते हैं, तो ये समझ में आता है कि इन चीज़ों को हमें ध्यान में रखना होगा। तो आज रूल 160C पर इतनी ही बात करते हैं। फिर अगले मंडे को हम लोग रूल 16E पर बात करेंगे, और हो सकता है कि 160 पूरा भी हो जाए। तो फिर मिलते हैं, तब तक के लिए नमस्ते, धन्यवाद।